Folks, welcome. I hope you're having a great day. And if the migrant crisis already wasn't bad enough as it is at the border, now in Chicago, now in New York, now in all of these cities, along with having to pay and support and try to, help and take care of these people, not only are we having to do that by the millions, but along with all these people, all of the gangs, all of the cartels, all of them are simply walking across the border because that's all it takes to get there. That's all you got to do. New York City migrant moped gang ringleader makes chilling admission about crime network. It's much bigger than me. I mean, this is crazy. With all of these people coming across, you have imported murderers, you have imported rapists, you have imported drug cartels, you have imported all sorts of people who absolutely do not care at all, and they're laughing at us because all they got to do is throw their hands up and say asylum, and they get to get in. It's absolutely absurd, folks. But this from the Post: the migrant moped gangs terrorizing the Big Apple, now that's a thing, moped gangs are part of an illicit network of hood peddling stolen goods from the 5 boroughs in Florida and shipping the proceeds to South America, law enforcement sources told the Post. It's much bigger than me, accused migrant ringleader Franco Alexander Peraza, I'm probably not pronouncing that right, Peraza Navas, allegedly told the NYPD for getting nabbed for a string of local heists. Quote, "In a million years, I never thought you'd catch me." Well, thank God he was wrong. Navas, 30, allegedly told detectives, I've been going to Miami every 3 weeks, and it's much bigger than me. The Venezuelan migrant is allegedly part of a crew that has been linked to robberies throughout New York City, Yonkers, New Jersey, and Florida, and tied to an illegal gun used in a Fort Lauderdale heist on December 9th, the sources said. I mean, folks, all up and down the eastern seaboard. Just following the coast, up and down, up and down, up and down. Maybe even taking a plane flight, I don't know. The same gun was used in a $279,000 gunpoint robbery at Solid Gold Jewelry in Manhattan on November 22nd. Navas and his alleged accomplices are suspected in other Big Apple incidents, including a shootout with another crew in the Bronx on November 18th and a Bergen County robbery that is still under investigation. Folks, we are importing this. Look, we already got that in our problem. Great, I know, it sucks. But we don't need more of it, and we don't need more of it from people who don't even belong here in the first place. I mean, that's a picture of this woman just getting dragged while holding onto her phone as this guy is just trying to take off with it. And I mean, they hit so many people every day. And they've been doing this for, a long ass time. In all, cops pinned 2 carjackings and 6 gunpoint robberies or attempted robberies on Navas when he was finally nabbed while alleging shoplifting at Macy's department store on Yonkers on December 17th. All pulled off within the previous 5 months, the sources said. Nasty as they come, one law enforcement source said of Navas, who was living in a taxpayer-funded city shelter after arriving in New York City last year. And folks, this is another point. You bring all of these people across. Look, they don't know the culture. They don't know the language. They don't have the skills. You can't just employ these people even if you try to do it. So you've got all these people. You've got nothing to do with them. And the only source of income that basically they can get is what? What's left? Criminal activity. That's the only thing they've got left in order to make any money, and you've imported this. Navas and fugitive suspect Victor Parra, another suspect, bigwig in the network, made regular trips to the Sunshine State to unload the proceeds from the New York robberies, the sources said. Parra allegedly ran the local ring out of a Bronx apartment where stolen phones were reportedly hacked, with gang members advised to throw the phones out of the window if cops closed in, and to ship him close to Miami if he had to go on the run, according to the sources. Meanwhile, the filtered phones, along with cash and other stolen goods, were shipped to Colombia through a Texas-based shipping company run by a Venezuelan husband and wife team. When cops raided the Bronx apartment, they were stunned by the complexity of the operation, including a food delivery from the apartment that ended up with a bill from Colombia where the proceeds were eventually used to order a swimming pool, the sources said. Parr's crew allegedly helped smuggle migrants into the U.S., with traffickers still owed big bucks for the illegal border crossings. Migrants were typically shown photos of the families back in South America, and they would be killed if the bills weren't paid up, according to the sources. While Parra remains on the run, Navas is now in federal custody, facing charges of carjacking, car theft, and interference with commerce by threat or violence, court records show. We're importing this. For New Yorkers, the international crime ring begins with brazen robberies by migrants on mopeds, with the crew run by Navas and Parra just one part of the violent spree. Police have seen a spike in the two-wheeled heists, identified at least 32 separate grand larceny patterns in the boroughs that account for more than 140 separate crimes, the sources said. Among the most shocking was the caught-on-video attack on a 62-year-old woman in Brooklyn who was dragged along the pavement by one of the crews in December. That's got to be the photo we saw earlier. More than 170,000 migrants from the U.S. border have flooded into the city since the spring of 2022, with more than 65,000 now in city shelters and hotels, and we are paying for it. Think about this. We are paying to house people that can't do anything, that can't add anything to our country, and not only that, we're paying to house the criminals that we imported to rob us, to steal our phones, to attack us, and then send the money out of our country. We imported all of this, and for what? Why? Makes absolutely no sense. We have enough problems of our own, with our own homeless, with our own drug problems, and that's the thing. These cartels were outside. Now it's just easier for them to come in and bring even more drugs and more crime and more problems. Folks, this is completely the opposite of what a president is supposed to do, when his literal job is to enforce our borders, our border security, and that's literally not what he's doing. And now everyone, Eastern Seaboard, Texas border, everywhere, this is spreading, and all of us are suffering, and no one is winning, and it makes no sense. Folks, I can't explain it. All I can tell you, it is insanity by the Democrats, and it absolutely has to end. But folks, with that said, let me know what you think in the comments. I really want to know what you think about all this craziness. I'll try to bring some new stuff as soon as I can. Take care of your friends and families, and I will see you next time.